Dirty and he's dusty. He's deep. He's deep. He's dirty, dusty, dirty D. Come here. Let me see you. Let me touch you. Oh, yeah. He's dirty. He's dusty. Come here, let me see you. Oh, yeah. Yep, he's dirty. Good morning. How everybody doing this morning? Oh, you got the DVDs? Dope. Glad they got there. You are more than welcome, my friend. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy the show as much as I did, dude. $0.99. Thank you, Cloud Massacre, for the rainbow. There's many colors in the homo rainbow. Don't be afraid to let your colors shine. Many colors in the homo rainbow. You show me yours and I'm gonna show you mine. See the news in the Blackwater Founders' latest scheme? No, I didn't see it. Listen to PLHM yesterday. Good album. Sounds like Trent's. It's not Pretty Little Hate Machine. It's Pretty Hate Machine. But it sounds like Trent's constantly about to bust a nut. Yeah, it's a very energetic album for sure. I'm drunk, but right now I'm so in love with you, and I don't wanna think too much about what we should or shouldn't do. Hang my hat on heaven and the sun and the moon and the stuff. Oh, you building a nest, bro? Scrub J nest. Build it. Do it. This girl I was talking to you just told me she was a lesbian. Oh. Yeah. Pretty Hate Machine is great, but it's got a lot of cringy line deliveries. Like what? What's cringy? I guess I don't get the cringe. Yeah, I've seen the red-tailed hawk several times. I haven't seen him eat a bird again, but I've seen him roaming around. Dude, he had like a napkin or something. I don't know what he had. He found something that he was stuffing in his nest. Like a piece of paper. Yeah, I still want to be her friend. All right. Well, sorry that it didn't work out. Sorry you don't have the right equipment. Can I sing you a song? Sure. You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. There you go. Imagine if birds had Pimp My Nest. Ooh, yeah. Some of them do. Man, those birds that build those crazy nests in like South America and then do the dance so the chicks will all notice them. They're like, yeah, those birds are dope. Scrub jays. Scrub jays. Hello. It's like we got a mated pair in there. You ever see the bird that built a nest out of syringes in an abandoned sink? Oh, God, no. I didn't see that. That sounds hideous. Yeah, Dove. Got, you hear the doves doing their thing. Very pretty. Very pretty day today in general. A generally pretty day. Whew. Did everyone die? Hello? What happened? What happened, everybody? Oh, yeah, that's right. I felt like smoking a pipe this morning, and I did, and I really enjoyed it. This stuff. This GL Peace Quiet Nights stuff. Look how it's long cut. It's like that long cut tobacco. Man, it's good. It's good. Dinor is on the lookout right now for anybody or anything that would approach me without my knowing it. Maybe I'm all messed up. Ew, that's not green. No, it's not. It is not green, indeed. Colin Thorne, thanks. I didn't know it was already discussed. Sometimes you just got to have a good old pipe. It's my birthday, Paul. Could you please give me some life advice for 24? No, I don't remember being 24, so I can't help you there. You're never too drunk if you can hold on to the floor. That's all. That's good advice in general. On which days does DFF stream other than Wednesday? No days. No days like regularly. We will do streams for like special events, election streams, and this type of stream and that type of stream. But we don't really regularly stream. Do you guys have allotted time off? Yes. But our time off does not sync up with our release schedule. Like, we're ahead of the game now, so our shooting schedule is really only deliverable one thing per week that goes out that week, which is Flash Ride, which is our one live stream. Everything else is pre-recorded. So our shooting schedule has nothing to do with the release schedule. But yes, we have a couple of days off a week usually, sometimes one day off. That 2 days off a week from shooting is one of those days is a lot of times a meeting day. So we'll have a meeting on like a Monday and then take the rest of the day off. And that'll be our second day off. So yeah, we have allotted time off, but it swaps around to like. Do you ever consider living in a big city's downtown? I live in a suburb of a big city and wonder if it's over romanticized. The closest I've ever come to living like that was when I lived in Bellevue, Washington. I've talked about it a lot here. I lived in an apartment in downtown Bellevue, Washington, right across the sound from Seattle, right in the downtown area. I lived on top of a grocery store, so grocery shopping for me was walking out into my hall, getting into the elevator, taking the elevator down to the grocery store level, getting my groceries, going back up the elevator. It was ridiculous. I didn't own a car when I was there because I didn't have to. Public transit was awesome, so I think it depends on the metropolitan area that you live in and whether or not you can afford to live in an area that has that level of kind of convenience and integration. I was making a lot of money at the time. I was on a show that was making a lot of money at the time. And I basically could barely afford to live where I was living in a one-bedroom apartment. How come TJ doesn't have a southern accent? I think a lot of people would say that he does a little. If you listen to TJ's voice, especially when TJ's talking, you can hear a little southern twang in him. I mean, you can take the TJ out of the South, but you can't take the South out of TJ. You know what I mean? Accents are not this impermeable thing that people seem to think that they are. Like accents can be transient. Like when I'm talking to my mom on the phone, I take on like a southern affectation that matches the affectation I used to speak in when I was a kid and the affectation that she still speaks in. I don't do it consciously. It just happens. It's there's a comfortability factor, and yeah, accents can be all over the place for people. I'm like that. I had a strong Southern accent as a kid, so it comes out talking to a Southern person. Yes, or somebody that you're comfortable with, or somebody that was around when you were a kid. It's just very easy to list into that. You know what I mean? About to go to her reservation and jam with my Red Brothers. I've got a song about Paul lined up. I'll let you know how it goes next time. Oh, okay. To the reservation. Okay. Minnesota. Minnesota. Tacos. Aw, cheese and rice. Now then yet. Don't ya know? Minnesota. Yeah, it might be time to do a mass unban again. I don't know. The chat seems pretty anemic today. It happens, you know. It's on me. You're jealous of me. Oh, okay. Well, you might want to temper your jealousy. The U.S. has a military exercise right by where I live with some new planes, so Russia decided to test their missiles as close as they can, which isn't far. Whoops. Oh, geez, I'm crow. Bet you're Gen X, and I'm not. I'm actually I hate the term, but I'm an Xennial. I had to figure this out. I thought I was Gen X for a long time, but it turns out that I was born right on the cusp of the end of Gen X and the beginning of Millennial. So people that are born like between 1978 and 1980 are Xennials. And people born after 1980 are Millennials. A cusper, yeah. I got 1 foot in Gen X, and I got 1 foot in the Millennial. Do I like canned raviolis? I mean, I don't eat them very often, but yeah, I could do a canned ravioli here and there, you know. I think I'm technically a late millennial. Yeah, I don't know exactly where the handover is, but I know that after 1980, you're a millennial until like 2005 or something, and then or 2010. I can't remember how it works. Generations are so dumb. I don't even know what I am. I'm also a cusper, but on the bottom end of millennial. Gotcha. So you're like a moomer. A maloomer. You're a maloomer. They're basically just zodiacs. I mean, they are and they aren't. Like when you're talking about things from a sociological perspective, within those generational boundaries, you can't really judge an individual, but you can look at the values expressed by that generation and come to some sort of an understanding, at the very least, about what kind of climate that person was raised in politically. That's why the whole generational thing matters a little bit, because there is a very different outlook between boomers and zoomers, and there are 2 generations between them. You know, so you have to pay attention to that type of shit. You know, a boomer mindset is very different from a Gen X mindset. A Gen X mindset is very different from, I think, a millennial mindset. And a millennial mindset seems to be very different from a zoomer mindset. So these generational shifts in, social ideas are very important to pay attention to. A generation of people almost certainly has more in common than a zodiac sign, if only for having experienced the same contemporary cultural zeitgeist. Yeah. I think the generations repeat, though, over and over again in sequence. Maybe they do. I haven't really seen any examples of that were convincing to me, but maybe they do. I mean, I like to think that music travels that way, but music is different than what we're talking about. Music is connected to it. Music is part of the social leaning and political leaning of a generation, but it's just an expression of that. And I see music make those kind of cyclical things. It's like I feel like we're living right now in the 80s again. When I listen to the kind of synth heavy shit that is popular right now, I hear the 80s all over it, even if it sounds nothing like the 80s. I listen to Da Baby or, one of these modern kind of fucking trap rappers, and I hear 80s synths, 80s prog, 80s fucking melody lines. I just hear the 80s coming out of everything right now. I feel like that what led into this was us going through this disco phase. You guys remember like 10 years ago, pop was the hottest thing. It was all Taylor Swift and fucking this, that, and the other thing. Miley Cyrus and these really popular crossover kind of pop artists. That was this disco. I do fuck with Blueface. Well, I mean, I fuck with him, but I'm not a huge fan, but I've nodded to a few Blueface songs for sure. Bruno Mars, right? That was like the disco era, right? A lot of people were like, "Oh my god, this is horrible," but it was just really for me. I was like, "This is disco again. This is dance music." Take me by the hand and I'll show you. Everybody get up. Don't. She's a good girl. It's just disco again. And then that led into the 80s. If you listen to the rock scene right now, it's all fucking synth prog rock. Like, it's the 80s are back, which means the 90s are coming. And I think we're starting to see the front edge of that already in rap. Like, rap music is starting to move away from the dancier elements and move towards the more, the kind of harder elements that typified the 90s. A lot of modern rap is mumble too. I'm not saying everything sounds exactly right. You just got to have an ear for it. Like, you got to be able to like look beyond the differences and hear the fucking core, which is very much the same. Like, yes, rap music now does not sound like rap music sounded at the end of the 80s or the beginning of the 90s. If you listen to the lyrics or the delivery. But if you listen to the structure, if you listen to the beats, we're starting to hear the same type of shit. The stripped down kind of beat has become a new thing in rap, but it's not a new thing in rap. It's an old thing in rap. The stripped down beats of the late 80s and early 90s are what typified the genre. It was boom bap. You know what I mean? And it was very lyrically focused. And I see rap moving in that direction now, which is cool. You 21 Savage? Dude, 21 Savage? Are you talking about 21 Savage? He is hardly the worst offender in the mumble rap game. What the fuck is his name? I'm trying to think of the hardest to understand motherfucker that I've run across, and I actually fuck with him too. He's got like this whispery delivery. Young Bands. Young Bands. Young Bands. You want to hear some legit ass fucking mumble rap? Riding in a 40 with my beat. Dollar signs, all that. If it ain't about money, I don't worry about it. Yeah. If it ain't about money. It's like, what? What did he say? It sounds cool. I'm fine with it. I like Young Bands, but yeah. Gunna is worse. Yeah, I don't really listen to a lot of Gunna, so I'll take your word for it. But I'm just letting you know. For my personal stuff, Young Bands is the tip top of mumble rap. J Balvin. Never heard of him. Like Mozart's Requiem, so I can tolerate some mumble if it sounds good enough, sure. And then don't even get me started on fucking Mario Judah. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. We don't want to go down the Mario Judah road today. You don't want to hear about Mario Judah. Don't nobody know about no Mario Judah. Bobby Schmurder, yeah. Bobby Schmurder. I hope we get some Bobby Schmurder, because the song that basically got him and his crew locked up, that song is still 100% flame. 100% fire. Just caught a body about a week ago. Oops. Oops. Shouldn't have rapped that. Yeah, Pearl Jam is mumble grunge. Exactly. You're fucking dead ass right. Trying to forget this. Trying to erase this. I'm talking about it. Just like, what did he say? Whatever. Yeah, mumble fucking alternative, dude. Mumble grunge. I mean, I like Pearl Jam too. I'm not gonna shit on Pearl Jam. And like, it really did change. Like, you listen to Do the Evolution, that almost doesn't even sound like a Pearl Jam song to me. Because I can understand almost everything that's being said. Almost. I'm a beast. I'm a man. I'm the one that knows my own hand. You know, I got two of those three lines, you know. Kurt could be a little hard to understand when he was wailing and shit, but and like on the harder songs, I totally fucking agree. Like, Kurt can be a little tough to fucking suss out sometimes. Not gonna lie. You needed a laugh, and this is helping. I'm glad, Pranav. Yeah, he did. Yeah, in his smells like what was Weird Al's cover of that? He said, "It's hard to write upon the mouth with all these marbles in my mouth." So we're mumbling and we're screaming and we don't know what we're singing. Crank the volume, ears are bleeding. Can you tell me what I'm singing? A burrito, a taquito. It's just like, yeah, it smells like Nirvana, yeah. You can't argue with it. He actually said Kurt gave his blessing. That was cool. Yeah, most of the people that he covers, parodies, do give their blessing for those songs. A few of them don't. But he actually is a nice guy. He like tries to go to these people and saying like, hey, like, look, I want to do a fucking joke song about you. Can I do it? You know, are you cool with it? Here's some early stuff from it, and he lets them listen to it, and they go like, yeah, dude, go ahead. It's fun. Yeah, Coolio was not Coolio with it. Yeah, Coolio was not happy when he did Amish Paradise. I'm sure Weird Al reached out. But at some point, you know what I mean? Cooley in his hair, dude. Yeah, Coolio had them twisty braids that go everywhere kind of look that was hot for like, I don't know, like 15 minutes in the 90s. couple of rappers did it once or twice, and like Coolio was kind of the king of it, and then then it just stopped. As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's pretty plain. Fucking Weird Al. Weird Al's just a fucking genius. A local boy kicked me in the butt last week. Yeah, I love it, dude. Milking all the cows, churning lots of butter. Raised a barn on Monday, soon I'll raise a nutter. Coolio's hairstyle has not aged well, no. Like I said, that hairstyle was only hot for like a grand total of maybe a year in the 90s. And you saw mostly black folk doing it, a couple of white folks doing it, which really did not. I mean, you go look at Twisted if you want to see white folks doing it. The Juggalo band Twisted had, I think, Monoxide Child had that hair for a while. Weird Al has a way of making parodies that a layman can enjoy too. Yes. Like Weird Al, I think, is necessary because Weird Al reminds us that we shouldn't take everything seriously, even things that are very, very serious. So he takes these very serious songs and he makes jokes of them, and he reminds us to laugh at ourselves and one another and the things that are presented as serious every once in a while. Not all the time, but every once in a while. You like Tupac? Yeah. I grew up on the West Coast in the 90s, so I don't really have a choice there. But yes, I do like Tupac. Yeah, Coolio did not like his dead homies being disrespected. California love. Ooh. I love that song. Of course. Who doesn't love that song? California knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city of LA. Jordan, don't be stupid. One is tobacco and one is not. Don't be stupid. I'm going to let you hang out, but if you say one more stupid thing, you're gone. I'm feeling charitable today. You can hang out, but don't be stupid again. Don't ask stupid questions. Don't be a teenager, even if you are. Riding dirty is a serious subject. I mean, yeah, that song is about cops trying to catch black people doing things they're not supposed to do. It's like sitting at the lunch table with the cool kids. Exactly. There's protocol. There are rules. There is protocol and there are rules. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, they trying to catch me riding dirty. feel like Johnny Sacks. You know what? I remember a time when you used to fetch the coffee. You never talked then, so why are you talking now? You think the left will actually make Biden do anything? What power does the left have to make Biden do anything now? The time to get concessions out of Biden when it comes to like filling his cabinet with progressives, adopting hardline progressive policies and following through with them, the time to pressure Biden to do that was while everybody was just voting for him just because. While leftists were being encouraged to throw their support behind Biden, that was the time we could have gotten concessions out of Biden. Now that he's in power, we get nothing. We get nothing. We get 4 more years of this at least, and then another 4 more years, possibly, of this. Let's be passive aggressive occasionally to Biden, but spend most of our time focusing on the other side of the aisle because we got to beat them next time. Yeah, that's like giving Thanos the Infinity Gauntlet and then bullying him into changing reality in the way that we want. That's not the way that it works. You gotta bully Thanos while he still doesn't have all the Infinity Gems. You know what I mean? Because once he gets those, he does whatever the fuck he does what he does. You see? You see how it works? This is something that I got made fun of for constantly in the run-up to this fucking election. Constantly. Now's the time. Now's the time for you to show Biden that he's going to lose to fucking Trump. You're not going to vote for him if he doesn't fucking start stacking his cabinet with progressives. You're not going to vote for him unless he starts taking some hardline fucking progressive positions. You're not going to vote for him. You're not going to vote for him. Now's the time to be bullying him. Now's the time to make it look like it's going to be a Trump landslide. That's how you get yourself some concessions out of a fucking shit lib. This is when you do it. And people are like, shut up, Paul. Don't you agree Trump is worse? And this is what you get. You get what you fucking deserve. You get new wars. You get no fucking minimum wage hike. You're going to be lucky if you get a check. You get nothing. D, come here. There's no need. There's no need. There's no need. Paul, do you think there are actually teenagers in here? Do you care if there are? I can't control it, and I don't really care if there are, no. Some retard with half a brain cell is going to read this rant as Paul continues to skirt around the question. Is Biden better? Exactly. It's still the thing. Now that I'm pointing out all of the shit that Biden is messing up, now it's still better than Trump. Still better than Trump. Still better than Trump. It's like there's no bar either. Nobody knows when it's going to be like, when worse than Trump. Never. Can't be. Never mind the fact that he's teeing up for the next Trump. Right now, Biden's just teeing up for the next Trump. Teeing up for the next conservative president. President Tom Cotton. He's teeing it up. Can you be for liberty and not be a libertarian? Yes. Trump is going to run again in 2024. Yeah, probably. If he's still alive and shit, yeah. What are you talking about? Biden is the next conservative president. Right. You got a good point. Next Trump won't even need to do a coup. The coup was stupid of Trump to do. The next Trump won't do that. The next Trump will just continue business as usual, which is the exploitation of the lower class for the enrichment of the top 0.1% of wage earners. Biden is just Trump with a showered off spray tan, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Next Trump will do the same shit, go after the same shit, be the same negative force in the world. He'll just be smarter. Okay. Or we'll just get Trump again. This weak ass fucking lib shit presidency teased that up. Motherfucker can run again. And will. Oh yeah, he wanted to take, yeah. Remember that, dude? Boy, I tell you what, if it was a different time, I'd take him out behind the gym. And then we'd find out what was going on, Jack. Find out who had the fists, who could throw some hands. I'm gonna take Trump out behind the gym. I'll show him mine and maybe he'll show me his, you know? It's not gay if you look. If all you do is look, it's not gay, Jack. Beat him like a drum. Thank you, Paul. I only ask you this because I have autism and I used to be a libertarian until I noticed they're against Social Security. See, I have autism and that's the one who has autism. I can't do that. Okay. All right. All right, buddy. All right, friend. I'd rather have Empress Pelosi. Would you? Really, though? Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, the same voices will be saying the same shit in 2024. We've got to fucking vote for Biden. We've got to vote for Biden. We cannot let Mike Pence be president. We cannot let Trump be president again. We cannot let this happen again. We got to vote for Biden. And if we do and Biden wins, then it'll be we got to vote for Buttigieg, guys. I know Biden was a piece of shit, but listen. They're running Tom Cotton in 2028, okay? We've got to vote for Buttigieg. We got to vote. We got to do it. Get out there. It's radical. Marx and fucking Engels would have voted for Pete Buttigieg, okay? They would have done it. Marx and Engels definitely would have voted for Pete Buttigieg, okay? So get out there and do your revolutionary duties. This time we really will give you 2K, Jack. Listen, that 2K checks going out first thing. Soon as I'm reelected, Jack, 2024, I'll get you your check. You can put that down in your journal, Jack. Write that down in your blogs. Okay, 2024, the day of the check, Jack. I know he's persona non grata around here, but when Vosh said Marx would vote for Biden, I wanted to fucking puke. Last videos of his that I watched. You should watch, there's a guy, I can't remember what his name is. Is it Hassan? He's not an American dude. He's from the Middle East, and he did a breakdown of Vosh's argument that both Marx and Engels would advocate for voting for Biden. And it is
absurdly easy to refute. Absurdly simple. Like, all it does, is it Hakeem? Yeah. All it does is take the content, the context around the quotes that Vosh uses to justify, this idea that Marx and Engels would have voted for Biden, and he reads the context around them, and you're like, oh, okay. So it was a grift. It was just like a total fucking grift. Also, Marx and Engels died 200 years ago. Fuck them, yeah. Yeah, that too. Mind quoting, dude. He was mind quoting. Hello, D. Where's your bowl? Where's your bowl? Do you want to do a fetch? Get it. Give me your bowl. Can I have it? You don't want to let me have it? You don't want to do a fetch? Okay. We don't have to do a fetch. Well, have a good day at work, Phoebes. Seize the means of production, Jack. Yeah. Seize the means of production, Jack. Not everybody will even get the next stimulus check if they got the first two. Also, I sent you a previous chat. Sorry, dude. I'm bad about that. Found it. Because we ceded ground to him, now you'll have to deal with him or Mala till 2028 at most. And if Biden gives up his position, Kamala, maybe even 2032. Yeah. Kamala's definitely young enough to make another run at it. So if we do get a like a double Biden presidency, we get Biden in 2024 again, there's a good chance they run Kamala Harris in 2028 against whoever. Sorry I missed that, by the way, friend. I'll try to be better about that. It's easier sometimes when Amelia's out here with me because she'll fucking catch him when I don't. It's hard to see him sometimes. I look away a lot. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't want to fucking gatekeep Vosh because he's young. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that honestly, to be frank with you, I think Vosh's age probably does play a role in his politics, as most people's age does. I also think that Vosh's background probably plays a role in his politics as well. I don't know Vosh's history, but from what little bit I've heard him talk about it, he grew up pretty rich. He grew up in a very wealthy area of the world. And I think that may have some effect on it as well. I think Vosh also comes from an academic background. He's got himself a degree in sociology or whatever. And academia can be very insular and very shut off to, outside critique. So these are the fucking things that I think that it affect Vosh's fucking political views. But that doesn't negate his political views. There are things that affect mine, like being old and having seen this happen so many times, right? So people who grew up in poverty don't have the time or luxury of being pompous Marxists. I mean, that's pretty true. You're middle-aged, not old. Okay, well, I'm old in comparison to Vosh. I'm old in comparison to Vosh and most of the people that watch him. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Unfortunately, I think you're right, Lauren. I mean, I've talked about this before. Shit will fucking jump off in this country, and I mean for real jump off. There'll be a class uprising in this country, but only when there's no groceries at the grocery store. Only when you literally have nothing. Only when you literally can't attain anything. Only when the last little bit of frayed safety net tears away and we're all in free fall. That's when it'll jump up. Yeah, bread lines, soup lines, around, just absolute fucking chaos, a total breakdown of the social infrastructure, and then people will go like, holy fuck, we've been exploited. Because then the already ridiculous, disgusting, nausea-inducing fucking difference between rich and poor will be in sharp relief. But until then, people will sit on their fucking hands and be exploited and make excuses for being exploited. America won't change till there's bread lines, Paul, for the last 3 years. And you're right, it won't get bad enough for a revolution until a total breakdown occurs. I wish it weren't so. I think that this pandemic has put in fucking bold capital letters that the time is now for a class uprising in this country. Now, I would rather that class uprising take the form of a mass labor movement and a mass unionization movement. And I've tried to do what I can rhetorically and philosophically to guide the people that listen to me towards that line of thinking. That's all I can do. I can't start a labor movement. I don't have the money. I don't have the fucking resources. And quite frankly, I don't have the knowledge to run a fucking labor movement. I could be useful in a labor movement. And if one starts, I'll be happy to join their ranks, in any way that I can and be a voice. Be an organizer or a rally fucking appearance person, somebody whip up with the crowd, somebody to fucking show up at the strikes and boost the morale of the people that are there and remind them why they're there and remind them what's at stake. Like, I'd be good at that shit. I'm not good at money. I suck at money. I suck at getting it from people. I'm not a good at ingratiating myself to people for money. I put myself out there, and it's gonna take somebody else. I don't have that kind of thing. So what do? I try and guide this anger and this angst towards what I think the answer is, and away from what I think the answer isn't. And what I think the answer isn't is continued participation and legitimization of the ongoing political structure. It left us behind. It left us in the cold during a pandemic. It left us in the fucking literal cold during a deadly global pandemic, and 500,000 people died, and it'll be 1 million people before it's done. It's fucking insane that it's come to this. They left us behind. The Democratic Party no longer represents leftism in any capacity. There's no hope of infiltration. It cannot be changed from within. It cannot be pushed to the left. It has to be dismantled, and a new party has to rise up. And I hope, for the sake of leftism, that party is based around the principle of labor and collective bargaining and the plight of the working person in this fucking country. Because if we don't start getting in touch with that again, this country is going to rip itself apart for a puppet show. We're at each other's throats, literally right now, over a puppet show. I want you to think about that. America just about tore itself apart a couple of months ago over a puppet show. The American people have been so divided by this fakeness that the only way to stop it is to eject from it. to admit what it is, a puppet show. I missed a super chat. Thank you for letting me know. Apologies to whoever sent it. I'm scrolling back now to find. Not because he's young. Vosh comes from a rich background. He can't speak for the poor like you and me. He can't relate to the worker. I mean, I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that it automatically, because you grew up in a rich background or because you never were a worker, that you can't relate to a worker. I don't want to gatekeep that, because we need people with money if this is ever going to work. Go back to the puppet show rant. I mean, that's just all it is. I have nothing more to say about it. American politics at the national and state level are a puppet show, where the front-facing puppet show is what they tell us in press conferences and in carefully planned fucking political stunt events and shit, a la Ted Cruz loading up 2 bottled water things in an empty parking lot. Like, here's me helping Texas. That level of shit. That's what we get, the puppet show. And then behind the scenes, if you're a member of the cast and crew, aka a billionaire, hedge fund manager, or equivalent, you get to actually make the decisions that change the world. And then this voting and investing all of your energy into the electoral system is the opiate that they give us to make us think that we've got a choice. We haven't had a choice in decades. The subversion happened long ago. The corporate takeover happened long ago. And this is all proof of it. The fact that the fact that America is going to shit while the world is having picnics and barbecues is a direct result of this fact. And it's time to wake up and admit it. No more investment in the political puppet show. No more investment in the corporate Democratic Party for leftism. None. They get not one more vote if you're a leftist. Start it new. Start it fresh. Build it from the ground up, because the existent structure cannot be changed. Underline that. Put it in bold. Fucking take a highlighter and make sure you remember it. If anybody tells you different from that, ask them to qualify it and watch them go. Watch them shuffle from one foot to the other trying to justify their fucking nonsense. It's the truth. How do we prevent a fascist takeover in the rebuilding process? We start right now organizing labor. Fascism cannot fight against an organized labor movement. It's the unions that'll tear the fascists down, down, down. The union will tear the fascists down. Why do you think that song exists? The idea of solidarity in the labor union supersedes fascism. So if we care about that, we need to start now. How do we keep the unions from becoming corrupt? Solidarity. That's how you keep the union from becoming corrupt. You don't allow it to be infiltrated by people that want to line their pockets, whether from the inside or from the outside. You remain in solidarity. When somebody fucks up with the union's money, they're gone and prosecuted in solidarity. Barred from ever serving as a union fucking advocate. Hoffa also said solidarity. Yeah, Hoffa was operating at a time where the every fucking force in the world was aligned against him. I want you to take that into account. Every moneyed force in the world was aligned against the Teamsters Union when it started to become popular. So now, tell me how bad it was that any port in a storm worked for Jimmy Hoffa. Just think if 70% of people in America came together and agreed upon a new constitution, legitimate. I mean, that's fucking fantasy on fantasy, but it would be fucking great. I would cry tears of joy if that happened, but it would never happen. What does solidarity mean anyways? Paul talks about it all the time, but I don't know what it means. So I did a long show called I can't remember what it's called, Unions and Solidarity, where I talk about the difference between solidarity and what concept did I juxtapose it against to make the point? Unity, politically speaking, and within the union. Solidarity is the idea that you set aside everything else in solidarity with that group. So solidarity is different from just towing the line. It's different from just like, yeah, I'm with you. Solidarity means that you bleed the same blood as the people that stand on the line with you. That is the emotional way of putting it. Unionized people call themselves brothers and sisters for a reason. There's a family structure to a union. You look at your fellow workers as your fucking tribe. They're your people. That's what solidarity is. Labor in Solidarity was the name of the stream. Thank you, Phoebes. How do you do that? It naturally occurs in the labor space. You know why? Because working people all share the same problems, especially within the same working environment, but across working environments. Pay is too low. Vacation is too little or non-existent. Hazard pay is too little or non-existent. Sick pay is too little or non-existent. Healthcare is too little or non-existent. These are the same across from factory workers to construction workers to Walmart greeters. They all have this. That's the soil in which solidarity is planted. How it sprouts is observing it and watering it. You have to have union meetings. You have to radicalize people within the labor movement to start looking at that as the most important fucking thing in their life, because it is. This is the argument that needs to be made, maybe not as bluntly as I'm about to make it, maybe with better language, depending on where I'm fucking at. But here's the argument that needs to be made. Your labor, your time, is your most valuable fucking resource. It is the only thing they're not making more of. It is the only thing that you'll never get again. And what these companies are asking is for you to give some of your time spinning around this crazy fucking star in this little spiral arm galaxy off on the end of the fucking, or spiral arm fucking solar system on the edge of the fucking Milky Way. What? Okay, cool. So anyway, long story short, you have to convince people that their time is important again. You have to convince people that it is not normal. I gotta go.